All right, so we're trying to wrap up our skateboard design. Um, Here's the one I've been working on. I'm not quite done yet, right? But originally, you were supposed to choose from the templates, right? And you had to tell me an actual size, right? Um, at some point, you had to tell me an actual size, right? Now we have basically two sizes of printouts. The original one that we're going to print out next week, the actual size, right? It's going to be whatever size. Uh, you have to make your Illustrator file that size, and then we have what today we want just a printout, but we don't want it on just 8.5 by 11. We want a legal size document, right? And everyone should know the difference between letter, legal, tabloid. There's different paper sizes, right, that are standards. We've talked about this since you guys were juniors. And if you go to Illustrator or Photoshop and you go to print, right, and you select inches, you can see that there's different size papers, right? It says here, view all presets. Notice there's one called legal, tabloid A3. That's a European 8.5 by 11, you could call it. It's not exactly, but we've got the legal. And if you click on it right there, and you put this on inches, you will see it's almost like a letter size document. It's just a little bit longer, right? And this is something everybody should know how to do, because you may work somewhere later where you got to do some printouts for somebody and you don't want to be, oh, show me how to do it. You should already know how to do this. It's not difficult, right? And if you don't have this size sheet of paper and you have a bigger size sheet of paper, everybody in here should be able to say, well, I can cut it. And if you don't have a paper cutter, could you use an X-Acto knife? Could you use scissors, right? Yes, you have to be somebody who says, hey, you know what, I don't have that paper, but I can cut it obviously to that size, right? So you hit create and you notice it's a little bit taller, right? Yes, it's a little bit taller, 8.5 by 11. And you want to place your design in here. Kel was nice enough to lend a design for these purposes. And I just had it open and now I don't see it. There it is. Oh, yes. Most importantly, we want to make sure, so this is Kel's design here, right? Or it could be your design. But most importantly, we want to have a clipping mask. Right now, it just looks like a rectangle, right? You were supposed to choose or make your own shape, right? Depending on your skateboard, if you happen to have one and you were going to use a real one, you were supposed to measure it and get actual measurements, all right? So on this one, Cal used the template that I gave you guys, I think. And obviously we need to do a clipping mask. So you select that, right? And you do what to do a clipping mask? Command 7, right? And that gives us a better idea of the skateboard, right? So after you do a clipping mask, right, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go to my legal size document that I just set up, this one. Again, be a professional, use your layers, right? Skateboard art. I'm going to paste it. And there it is. Now, remember, we wanted a good size, right? Because we're taking advantage of the bigger paper. So Option Shift, I would say like that, and even maybe a little bit smaller. So we got to make it fit the paper. It's not a specific size, but we want to use the paper to have the largest printout possible so we can view them, right? The closer we get to the actual size, the more we can see it and say, oh, this looks good or not. Okay, new layer. And here are the specifications or measurements, right? Anything you create, and if you see the Schoology later, sometimes people call it specs. I need you to spec this, right? Especially in the world of graphic design and print technology, you need to know, and I've told you guys from the beginning, what size is it that you're making this? What is it for? Is it for a magazine? Is it for a poster? Is it for a skateboard design? What size are we talking about? People need to know, right? Whether you've done a lot of this or not, right? You can't just send something and you designed it at 1 inch by 2 inch in Illustrator and you send it off to somebody and now they got to make this 38-inch skateboard deck and the resolution isn't good enough, right? We've talked about this from the beginning. So again, this is, oh, see if somebody's here. All right. So how do I specify this? I created my own layer. If you want, lock the other one. And you simply get the pen tool, right? You get the pen tool. And let's choose a stroke color only pen tool. And check it out. Illustrator even tells you where the top is. So I'm going to click once. I'm going to hold down shift. I'm going to click another time. I'm going to come all the way down right there. And it even says intersect at the bottom. You can't see on the projector. And I'm going to come over here. And I created basically like a little L shape or a tall C shape. I don't know if you guys can see it on the screen. It'll be on the video much more clear. And then I get the pen tool again, and I just kind of draw another little stick right there. I'm going to increase the stroke for visual purposes, but you don't have to do this. But up on the screen, I don't know if you guys can see it there now on the screen, right? This tells me this is the height of this, right? And if I remember correctly, this is 32 inches. Cal, what's the height? 32. So then I get my type tool and I type 32 inches, right? And I just put that there and I scale it. I could rotate this a little bit. And I don't know if a lot of you guys know this, but instead of writing inches, sometimes people will put like the little quotation marks. Does anybody know this? That signifies inches to people, right? When you're speccing something, right? And then if you just do an apostrophe, what is that? Anybody know? If you do an apostrophe like this means feet. If you do the little quotation thing, that means inches, if you didn't know that, all right? Again, if you want to do that, fine, but you don't have to. You can actually write inches, right? Obviously, most people would understand a skateboard design is not going to be 32 feet, right? Unless you're making a giant 32-foot skateboard, I guess, like a sculpture, all right? And I don't know if you guys noticed when I zoomed in there, this looks pretty low res, but that's because this was a PDF that Cal gave me, and it was already scaled down, all right? Yours should not be pixelated, and especially your artwork, the final size should not be pixelated. Again, just for demo purposes. Now I do the same thing for the width, right? So on the same layer, right there, specifications, I get that pen tool. I only want a stroke, right? And on yours, it could be 1 point thick. You don't need it to be any thicker. So watch, I could start here. Let's do it right here, right there. Click right there, hold down shift. You're basically just doing like a C right there. It's even telling you where it is, and it's lining up with the other one. Look how simple that is. Click off, and then you're gonna do that little stem. It's almost like a bracket, you could say, right? It's a bracket. And then I just do a little pen tool, the same thing here. I'm just looking for the halfway point, somewhere like that. And this makes it look nice and techie, right? People want to know. And again, I'm just doing the stroke for visual purposes on the projector, right? I can move this down a little bit so I don't have a lot of room. Right about there. And I think the width on this one was 8.5 inches, right? Everyone should be able to do this. This is not difficult, all right? This is part of being a professional, showing people that you know how to use the software, how to put something together. And there is a good example of speccing something, specifying, right? So that if somebody else is producing the actual artwork, right, they need to know. They need to know what size it is. That's how simple this is, all right? I'm going to hit save. Super simple. Save on your computer and call this spec skateboard. Put your initials. I'm going to put Kel's, right? And if you want to be even fancier, to print. There you go. I'm going to hit save. Always as AI first, right? It was that easy. And now I'm going to save as a PDF. Save on your computer. You do want press quality on this one. Actually, technically you don't. It's so small. Let's just do the regular. And because remember, our printer here has trouble with high-res PDFs. So I take that back. Let's just do the Illustrator default. See how it's just like that. Do not do press quality. We'll only do press quality on the final large actual size version. So just default. It's not going to make any difference if you do press quality on such a small printer, right? And now that has been spec'd to a legal size document, and I'm going to airdrop it. Let's airdrop this. Too many windows open. Oh, there's a nice video I'm going to post for everybody. See who used that was some raging. Oh, and there to prove to who was it? Jen says Procreate Education. There is such a thing. All right. Anyway, so I'm gonna find the PDF I just did. I don't know where I saved it. I should have. There it is. Skateboard clipping mask. No, that's not it. To print. No. I think it's in documents, but we'll see. Skateboard with clipping mask. Oh, it is that one. No, it's not that one. Sorry. All right. So here's the thing. Oh, spec skateboard. Okay. All right. I'm recording. I don't know why it's not showing up. Let's see. Oh, there it is. And I saved it in documents where it should be. Okay, so there it is. And I'm going to airdrop it to our classroom laptop. And it should say Judges Photography. If you can't airdrop, you know how some of the computers in here are not working in that sense. What's the next step? What would you guys do if you can't airdrop it to that computer? Kel, can you go hit accept on that laptop over there, please? All right, what's the next step? What would anybody do if you can't airdrop it? Huh? Put it on a flash drive. Yeah, that's probably the easiest, right? That laptop does still have USB 2.0. All right, so there. We sent it. It's done. And the rest of the video, I'm going to stop this here. That's how easy that is. And I'll add to the video, show you how to print it out after this.
Yeah, good. All right. Also a reminder, and I don't have to tell seniors mostly, if you come here to the table, if you see people's artwork, don't be cutting on top of it. Don't be touching other people's stuff. If this is there, don't be playing with it. All right? Leave other people's stuff alone. And clean up after yourselves. All right? So, we do not have any legal size 8.5 by 14 paper, but we have some tabloid. I think this is tabloid 11 by 17, or maybe it's a little smaller. It's like drawing paper we have here in class. You need to get a paper cutter. Now remember, don't measure the strong. It's always from here that way. People make a mistake, especially when you're cutting 8.5. Alright, it's from here that way. So this is 14, and you do it as nice as you can. You cut the lane first, right? We're creating a legal size document. And then, 8.5. Here's where people mess up. They put it here, which is actually 7.5. See? So 7.5, you have to pass the 8. That's 8.5 by 14. You try to do this as best as you can when you're not wearing your glasses. This should be touching over there. You know, it doesn't have to be like done to the micron. But there, we have that an 8.5 by 14 legal size document. Alright, so then we've got our sheet of paper. Everybody should know how to log into this laptop. Everybody should know how to use a printer that only prints 8.5 by 11. And know that we have this ability to print a legal size document. It won't fit in the tray, that's why we're using this, right? We go to our computer, we should have the download. Oh, it's on the desktop? No, is that it? Oh, how did it get to the desktop? Right, can be, but here's a very important, you gotta choose legal. US legal, not small. US legal, that looks good. Make sure it does not scale to fit. Right here, scale 100. We do not want it to scale to fit. Just hit print. And you need to print 2 of these. I'm not going to print 2 of these, but you got to do 2. One you can keep, and one we need for the classroom. And there's our printout. Inspect. Make sure this does not get cut off. And we're going to put these on the wall.